Welcome to another episode of ASAI Sensitization, Awareness and Advocacy Program. On today's program, we will be talking on what child sexual abuse is. Some people actually don't know what child sexual abuse entails. They think it is only when a child is being raped.
Like Trauma mentioned, maybe force was used or some form of violence, but it's not always that. It can be even as subtle as maybe making a child sit on your lap, and it's child sexual seduction because what these perpetrators do, they usually they manipulate the children, they try to mess with their head just to get an advantage over them.
And that's very true because if you look at what happens, most times these children are not actually forced to, they are manipulated to doing what they're
and
doing.
they not foolishly, they naively
Participate. And that is why, if you look at the steps in child sexual abuse, there's a place called grooming. Now, yes, you have to groom the child. It starts from like what you said, come and lie down on my chest.
Yes, you know you're my favorite.
You know you're my favorite.
Getting them things.
No, it's not. Yes, it's violence against children in the big term, but it is not a violent process. It's very subtle. In most cases, it's a very subtle process, especially the ones that go on for a long time.
Yes.
Sometimes these children even grow into liking it.
Yes.
But that notwithstanding, I don't think we've even shared to the audience what child sexual abuse really is. Of course, we do know that child sexual abuse is having sexual related relationships with children. In very simple words. So that is mean when you liken a child to any sexual activity, as simple as just looking at the child.
Yes, or even just putting the child on your lap,
Yes.
even though nothing is happening.
Yes.
Your intentions. It's the first starts with your intentions.
Yes. So child sexual abuse or seduction, as T rightly corrected, starts with your intention. So even it has happened, we all know that they always say things always happen in the mind for it. So most likely that already happened. It's just the process to actually play out.
Yes.
And then when the forms of sexual abuse, like we said, internal and external, they are vast. When it comes to the external forms of sexual abuse, in the internal, of course, we just agree that it's anything that involves penetrating the child, like raping the child.
Yes.
But when it comes to the external, it is so vast. Like it is so vast.
Endless.
It's endless.
The list is endless.
It's endless because I can imagine people masturbate with children. Yes, they don't want to touch the children because there are a lot of sick people around. They don't want to touch you because they know it's wrong, or I don't know the psychology behind it. But they want to see you naked. Yes, they want to see you naked. I don't know if you were, there was a program on CNN where some mothers, I don't know which country it was, they would put up their children for online sexual exploitation. And it was dumbfounding. Young children, and they had audience online. They actually had audience that were paying in dollars. They were paying these women were getting rich. And you look at it, it's harmless. I just keep my child out there and then
She's not
being touched. It's harmless.
That means using the children to make money for yourself.
On the sex account.
Yeah.
It's not just sending them, if you were sending your children to go and sell something, like we always do it's very common around here where children are abused by they are selling things or helping their parents. It's worse, but using them for sexual, for anything sexual related. And sexual exploitation, like I said, apart from the women itself that are even putting their children online, I know that there's so much happening online on exploitation of children, and it's alarming.
When we were younger, let me tell you a story. Some parents, they think it's normal. After all, I've given birth to them. They also need to hustle to get the money so that they can bring it into the family for us to fend ourselves.
Yes.
But they don't know they're actually doing wrong. When we were younger, yes, most parents, they see it as nothing. They just, after all, she's making money. And once the child succeeds in trying to sleep with the man and comes back with money, they want to send the child again and again.
But that's even very common in our society, And to worsen it all, the fact that we've not adopted the Child's Right Act, like we always say, that's why there's nothing different in giving away your child to prostitution and giving a very young child that is not old enough into marriage. What do you think?
Yeah, that's true. Forms of sexual abuse like this are a lot, But my own concern, especially now that we're talking about it, is some gestures that we parents see as
Ignore
innocent.
it yet.
When an uncle comes to the house and your daughter is sitting on the lap, you have to, or your son, you really have to look. Don't just say this is this uncle or this is my. Many a times, sexual abuse, it takes just seconds.
Very true.
You know,
Very true.
you can be going to the kitchen
Very
and
true.
something has already happened.
It has already happened.
And we feel because there's no penetration, it is not abuse.
Very true.
It
Very
is.
true.
It is violence. I mean, I can't imagine somebody just brushing me in an inappropriate way now.
Very true.
I'll feel violated.
Very true.
So it is violence and it is subtle. I feel now parents, and not just parents, teachers, we have to be cautious and teach our children. You can't be touched like maybe on your nipples or something.
Yeah, very
People,
true.
people take it because boys, they feel you don't have breast after all.
Yes.
So we can touch, but no, don't touch, so that the children can know.
It's
'Cause
still
if
a
you touch
private
it
part.
and somebody now touches it,
It is still a private part. Do
it's
you know
still a
that the
private part.
breast is for a man is still his private part?
it is.
You understand? Because some men still
Just
get
because they expose it
no,
doesn't mean.
sincerely, do you
it's
know
not a private
adult
part.
males, let's be realistic, some adult males still get sexual feelings from their nipples.
Yes.
And
Well, I
then,
wouldn't know. I'm not a man.
but you know,
But I
because
can
they still
imagine.
get those kind of feelings from their nipples.
Yes.
You know, the intention, the child might not have that feeling, but the intention is already an abuse.
Yes.
You know, maybe you're trying to sexually groom that child by touching the child's
Yes.
nipple.
And
that's
say,
how
come,
it
come,
begins.
yes.
Come, and that is
And
it.
there's some form of secrecy. They try to make them, like maybe it could be a violent one. If you do this, I'll kill this person. Or it could be like,
Getting
your
a
mom
gift,
can't do anything to
or
me now.
getting a gift
Exactly.
to buy
Yes.
the child over to you.
Just that gift,
Exactly.
maybe just
Getting things,
making that child like, oh, you're my favorite.
Favorite,
Feel
yes.
special.
Pulling the person away
Away
from the rest.
saying what is
A lot
happening.
of manipulation.
A lot of manipulation. That's why we call it. That's why we call it. You see, we've actually addressed two parts. We've addressed the violent part, which has to do with threats. What they're saying, if you don't do this, sometimes it could even be an uncle you love very much, and he says, if you tell your mommy will send me away, and then you keep that secret for that uncle. But let's go back to what we're talking about. What is child
The
sexual
form,
abuse?
The form of
And we're now. I was going to talk about a part that touches me so much.
Okay.
This one, a lot of parents are very, very, very guilty. Now, why am I saying they are guilty? Every day, what we do when we come home, the most common activity in every home is watching TV.
Yes.
Everybody watches TV. So you see, the contents in the TV, the media has even tried to give us age restrictions. They warn you, this one is for 13 years old. Oh, this one's parental control. But we don't take it serious. Most times you see people watching things and their kids are there. You are abusing your child.
Yeah, and children
Yes.
are inquisitive.
You are abusing
Yeah,
your child, because what you're doing at that time is exposing that child to age-inappropriate contents.
Yes.
And children are
They want to go and read.
sponge.
They will go and want to
They
try
are
it.
spongy, and that's why you go to a lot of schools today, you see a lot of cases of child-to-child sexual abuse, because they have grabbed all those things
What
they
they
are
have
seeing,
seen.
and they are just, so please, parents must pay attention. I know everybody has heard about this and they feel like they have some form of control. After all, it's not just movie magic, it's not just this, it is not just that.
Another aspect is putting pornographic videos or content, images to children.
Yes, and
In that way, you're telling the child what this person is doing, you can do it.
yes.
And when you're teaching a child like this, the child, when he or she goes out, will want to do such with someone else. Even
The
try doing it
pornography
with an adult.
is such a wonderful one, because the thing people don't understand is pornography is everywhere now. It's not like before that you have to go and look for
The CD,
the CD.
yes.
There are
Even
things
the music we
everywhere.
watch.
Even some videos, musical videos
Videos.
are already
They are
pornography.
yes.
You know, so you see,
Explicit
you know, in fact,
content.
you know, even the languages, the control is everywhere. So you find kids watching some music videos that have very explicit content, some raps that when you listen to, like if you can write down the lyrics, you might, as a parent, you might even faint. And children are listening and they're rhyming and they're rapping and they're understanding.
Yes, and this day they have the internet at their fingertips.
It's right here.
You know,
And the
and
warnings
most
are
parents
always
don't
there
monitor.
too.
Yes.
They don't monitor it.
You know, like talking about internet is a big material, or it's a big space for child sexual exploitation, abuse, seduction.
Yes.
It's the new thing. Why? Because you have a lot of kids now having stranger boyfriends. Like, it's very, very, and do you know what these pedophiles do? The online situation of these pedophiles is just the best. They also groom them online. Apart from, we talked about physical grooming, where they'll start by come now, come and stay here. From staying here, you stay here. From staying here, you now stay here. You keep staying until, you know, they get into you. But the online one also have their own grooming.
Yes,
You
they
know,
have their tactics.
They have, sometimes they even come as somebody else. They can even come online and then
As
you're
a normal
chatting with them
teenager
as
or
a
something.
friend, as a girlfriend to a girlfriend. And they are chatting you, they're talking to you.
It's catfish now.
Ah,
Some form of catfish.
Yes, it is. And you know, it's not even the what I know. A lot of parents think it goes beyond, like we said, there's child to child, where children that have been exposed to sexual content have come back to other children, or children that have even been abused.
Yes.
You know, now, yeah.
And usually they said that the age that it happens most is from 12 to 14.
Yes, the teens. Yes.
They are the ones that are likely to.
Okay, they are not teens
abusing.
yet. Yeah, they are teens.
They are.
They are
teens.
teens.
Yes.
Yeah, they are preteens. Yes.
So that is the age that usually you see them going back. That is why, as parents and as guardians, we are supposed to check in on our children. Never make your child too afraid of you that they can't speak to you. Never be too busy. Just check in.
Don't just check in.
Yes.
Let them also know.
Yes,
Their knowing
let
is
them
even
know.
more
Yes.
important.
But even the knowing, some might want to be, quiet about it.
Yeah.
Find ways of getting them to talk to you, because they said that those that report child sexual abuse early, maybe in a space of 1 month, the depression level and the regret level or the devastating effects of it reduces.
Wow.
But if they don't report it and maybe they are three years down into it, it can have
Negative effects.
And then parents should also know that child sexual abuse cuts across all borders, same sex, different sex.
Yes.
So don't just be restricted.
It's not a heterosexual
It's not
thing.
exactly. Don't think because you have.
Now, talking some more on child sexual abuse, it is important to note that to note two things. Number one, the victim, the child that is being abused, and then the child that is abusing. They need different types of help. The first to help the child, to know that it's not their fault, and the other to find out why, how, and try to put a stop to it. Because usually they said that it is said that 1 out of 9 victims of child sexual abuse become pedophiles in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a way to check it, and there are some behaviors that you should look out for.
Yeah.
How is your child with other people? If they come and report, this your child did this, don't go and say, no, how can my child do that?
I'm telling you, your child is always hitting
Same
people's buttocks.
box.
Or there are
He's
things.
kissing this person,
or he's
check.
hugging this person.
Check
Something
and
could
nip
be
it
wrong.
at that time.
And something could be
Get
wrong.
help.
And they
Something
should be
could wrong.
cautioned immediately.
Because
When
the
a
child
child-
could be being abused and you don't know, and she's already showing
Showing
he's showing it.
Yes.
And those are the signs you look out for.
Yes.
Sometimes you hear in school that they caught a child kissing another child.
And the parents will think it's a normal
The
thing.
teachers
They
will
not
they will make the child to be the bad thing, but what happened to the child first?
Exactly.
That the child got to that.
And they never ask the questions. The first question they are supposed to ask, please, I will beg schools or caregivers, please, when you notice that, don't beat the child and let the parents come and start quarreling. The first thing you do is to talk to the parents. Hello, parent, please, I think you should look into this child's life. Maybe
And
Just
investigate.
investigate. You know, children are not known to do this, so something could be wrong around the corner. Look around. Who are they staying with? Who are you leaving them with? Ask them personal questions. Try to know where it is coming from. Don't just beat them and cast the demon out of
Because
them.
they won't confide in you
They
and
will
you've
not.
lost somebody.
You are even losing them some more.
Yeah.
Most of those who have.
So it's the ones that seem
subtle,
innocent,
innocent, yes.
Yes.
You know, but those ones that happen in the public, of course, you're right, are like, you know, maybe you see children. Even the way someone is looking at another child
yes.
should tell you.
Try and be more observant.
You have to be observant. You know, you can see somebody just looking at children and something is wrong.
That
I
is
mean,
if he's an adult.
that is
Like
an adult
looking at. There's a way
children.
an adult to be looking at a child. You want to know why he's staring at that child,
So those
like,
are
and
part
you need
of
to
the
even
observant.
follow up
Exactly.
to find out, to monitor, do a close
happening.
watch.
How adults play with children. Some will just, you know,
You're a big girl
a
though.
big, you know, they will hit
Hit
your
the butt.
butt, or you know, touch you in a way. Look out
Some
for
might
those
even say
things.
peck me.
Uh-huh.
All those peck
You know,
uncle.
peck,
You know,
exactly.
like that. Let me peck you back.
Exactly.
Like
There's
that, it
a lot
starts
of
from
it.
them.
There's a lot of it. It goes beyond. And then when we're still talking on, you know, let's talk about touching, exclusive touching behaviors that happens now. When we talked about the external, when we talked about that, you know, sometimes it is not just the abuser touching the child.
It's the child that is made
It
to touch
asks the
them.
child
Yeah.
to
To
touch
touch
them
them.
for the sexual gratification.
Yes.
That happens a lot. You understand? So people use children to masturbate. So children are touching them for their own sexual
Yeah.
pleasures.
That is why you need to watch out with your house help.
Yeah, house
Most
help.
stories are here usually house help.
House helps are
A
even
girl-
small. Like
Uncles.
uncles are the
Blood
worst.
related.
And we know that most times, because the tendency for males to abuse children is far higher than
Than
females. It doesn't rule out the fact that we don't have
Females.
females that
Abusers.
are abusers, but the tendency for males to abuse children is far
It's
higher.
high.
So you find out that it is something that is more the occurrence is higher. Of course, we've talked about people that are abusing children being people that they know, people that have gained their trust. We've reiterated that over and over again. So you find out that most abuse that happen on the home front, uncles, fathers, very good friends.
In as much as
The fathers have been coming out of
their
late.
cases is becoming
In our last
yes.
discussion with the
High.
doctor, and when she talked about it, the cases of fathers abusing their children is so high, and they are never reported. I mean, how do you want to say you went to prison because you raped your child? So in our society,
Because a lot of cover up.
there's a lot of
People
cover
try
up.
to
That
cover it
takes
up.
us back to our first
discussion.
episode, how people want to protect the pedophile.
You know, we can never exhaust.
You cannot
This
exhaust it. It is.
We can't.
It is,
We are just scratching the
inexhaustible.
surface.
It just keeps trying, because more are still happening. You know, the whole essence of our program is to just bring to light things that people are not saying. Please, let's start saying them, and above all, let's start reporting. You know, if we were reporting these cases, then people will know that it has consequences, and when the consequences begin to grow, you know that there are consequences,
Yes.
then you begin to hear less of it.
So in this case, parents watch your children closely. When they start acting funny, find out
Yes.
why this child is behaving like this. There are things we should not ignore. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being on this episode. We are also appealing that you subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and like this our very program. And we are also encouraging you to report any form of child sexual abuse. We are always here for you. Thank you.